and welcome to episode 2 of the Her Helping Habit podcast, where we discuss egg donation, surrogacy, infertility, and a whole host of other subjects under that scope. Now today we are joined by a very special guest. We are joined by one of our donors here at Her Helping Habit.
My name is Ivy Sauter. I live in Burlington, Ontario.
Oh, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. So I think we're just going to get stuck straight in with questions, and I'm quite excited to talk to you because you have quite a unique experience. You were an egg donor during COVID, so what was that like?
Um, it's really kind of hard for me to compare. My first donation was during the pandemic, so I didn't really know any other way. Um, but now, I work with Her Helping Habit now, and seeing how our donors process is sort of more or less post-pandemic. There aren't that many changes, really. It was pretty straightforward. We had a couple little hiccups along the way in terms of waiting for test results or rebooking appointments, but it seemed pretty straightforward. From match to cycle was about 3 months, which is what we still project with donors. So yeah, I don't really think it affected my experience in a negative way. I think in a way, it encouraged the doctors and clinics and stuff to take extra care and get to know you a little bit better because they wanted to make sure everyone was being safe. So if anything, I think it made the experience a little bit more pleasant, if that makes sense.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. I can understand that completely. So how did you come across Her Helping Habit?
I looked into egg donation before. I think the first time I looked into it, I was about 16, and we can't even be approved as donors in Canada until we're 19. So it had always kind of been on my radar. But I looked at a couple other agencies, even done initial applications with a few. And then I always backed out because I just felt very pressured into it. Some of the agencies seem a little too business for me, and the second you send in an application, they're right on top of you. They're like, send in your next things and get the process going. And most of the time when I reached out to clinics or agencies, it was just to ask questions. It wasn't to commit to anything or to actually say that I wanted to be a donor. I just had questions. So it was really off-putting. And a couple of years go by, and I was looking into it again and just sort of stumbled across Her Helping Habit through a Google search. And I loved your website, and I love the fact that our founder, Katie, has a background in social work, and all of our staff have experience with egg donation or surrogacy, and it seemed a lot more personable to me. And after I decided to send in an application and book a consult with Katie, and I was just sold. I really just wanted at that point to find the right agency. I knew that I wanted to be a donor at that point, but I was just looking for the right fit. And Her Helping Habits approach of just real people helping people, it sold me.
Yeah, no, that all sounds really great. I think that there does definitely need to be that personal element, right? Especially when you're making a decision that's as important as this and is going to make such a difference in the world. You want to have that connection with the people that you're working with, right? So how many other agencies did you end up reaching out to?
I think I reached out to two or three. Um, One I think I reached out to twice over the years. Um, but yeah, it just none of them really stuck. And because none of them were willing to answer questions without commitment, it seemed I ended up doing a whole bunch of research on my own. And yeah, made the decision on my own. I just needed the right agency.
Okay, so what was the kind of over experience like being a donor with HHH? Like what do they kind of offer and things like that?
Yeah. So I found that Her Helping Habit was very, very compassionate. It felt very supportive, and like you were a part of a team working towards this donation and not just a number in a file that they wanted to get matched as soon as possible. I also really love that Her Helping Habit only does known donations. We don't do anything anonymous, which is really important to me. And I think because that's sort of our foundation of Her Helping Habit, it shines through in the way that we take care of our donors and the way that I was taken care of as a donor. Um, People really went above and beyond to check in and make sure that I was doing well, and not just that I had gone to my appointment, but that I didn't have any questions or how I was feeling or how if I was nervous about anything, and just check in. It was really, really nice, and a really, really supportive environment. Um, I definitely did have questions along the way, and they were always available to answer them. I never really had to wait for responses, which was great. Um, but yeah, it felt very supportive. It felt like they had my best interest at heart and not just the company's.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. What was your favorite part about being a donor?
um, I think just being able to help people. Everyone comes into egg donation for different reasons and has different motivations, but myself, I was just very, very much in it just to help people. And my background in other work, I work as a doula, supporting people throughout their pregnancies and labors and postpartum. And so helping people have children has always been really important to me. I've always been very passionate about it. So finding another way to do that, egg donation just felt like the most natural sort of extension of my purpose. So it felt like something I had to do and something that I really wanted to do. Um, but yeah, it just sort of felt like an intuitive thing that the second I knew what egg donation was, I was like, yep, I have to do that at some point.
Oh wow. So this sounds like something you were really destined to do. And so what was the reaction of your friends and family when you told them that you were going to be an egg donor?
The first person I told was my mom, and she has sort of similar ideals to me in terms of helping people. She's a therapist. She's been a foster parent. She understands the desire to help people. And so she was super supportive, and she knew that I was thinking about it for a few years. And once the process was actually in motion, she was absolutely on board. Um, she actually took time off to take me to sort of monitoring appointments and things, which she didn't need to do, but she wanted to be there, which was very nice. The rest of my family, they were all very supportive, but I definitely got responses from people sort of like, I don't know if I could do that, or oh my goodness, I could never do that. And I think that's fair. It's not for everybody, and the idea of having a child out there that is half you biologically is something that lots of people would struggle with. And go, egg donation is a very involved process. It involves medications and appointments and clinics, and it takes time. So it needs to be the right fit for people. So I definitely understood that reaction from some, but overall it was pretty positive. I don't think I had anyone really criticize me for doing this or tell me that I shouldn't. I think the funniest response was like, so if you have a kid and you donate to someone and they get married, and I'm like, they can't get married. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty positive response. I think people just had more questions. Um, I found myself almost doing the consult that was done with me to my family a lot to explain the process and why I want to do it and how involved it is and how it works, because it's not something that's super well known or very well understood. It's becoming more popular and more accepted, but lots of people don't really know how it works. So I found I ended up educating a lot of people on the process, which I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, well, I don't know a huge amount about it, so I feel like quite illuminated by just this conversation. So,
Oh man.
and then just the last question really. Did you come across any challenges throughout the egg donor process?
A couple little hiccups. but nothing nothing really stood out. The day before taking my trigger medication, I had a question, and I thought I had to take it the day after, and I didn't. So, but I mean, I asked before it had passed the time when I was supposed to take it, so it all worked out. But there was a bit of confusion with that. The test results took longer to get back than they should have before the donation. Um, the genetic screen took longer to come back, so we had to sort of course correct a couple things along the process for me. But that was a very unique situation, and that is one of the unfortunate signs of how COVID affected me in my donation, was just that we started my cycle before having all the final results, so we had to make some changes along the way, but it all worked out really smoothly. I think I experienced a little bit more pain after my cycle than I was sort of prepared for, but still it was normal. There weren't any um, technical complications. It was just not really something I expected. But it was handled well, and I was given painkillers with like no problem, and everything was dealt with, and I was fine in a couple of days. So really just minor hiccups, nothing too big. I still feel like I was in really good hands and that it went really smoothly. So yeah.
Well, hopefully, anyone who's listening has had some questions and queries or concerns answered, or maybe even had some stuff brought up that they can think about and do some extra research on if they are looking into pursuing egg donation. You've been a really wonderful guest, so thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I really hope that this helps people sort of learn a little bit more and kind of decide if this seems like something that they're more interested in. But as I said, it really is, it needs to be the right fit for every person individually. So if you are considering it, like, you can book a consult with us, and it doesn't have to be anything that turns into a donation. But do your research and learn as much as you can, and ask yourself the questions about why maybe you want to do it, and before you move ahead. But if you do choose to be a donor, it's an incredible experience, and it's incredibly rewarding to help people have babies. The family that I did my donation for now has a 3-month-old girl, and she is absolutely adorable, and she looks just like her dad, but she has my nose, which is super sweet.
Interesting. Yeah, we spoke to another donor, and she said that her chin was very strong.
Yes, yes. I think yeah. Sometimes it's funny to see what traits carry over. I know that my intended parents, they have a different skin tone than me. So she has very dark hair, darker skin, dark eyes, which isn't really like me at all. So I was very curious to see if anything would carry over, but she definitely has my nose. So that's kind of a nice thing to know, that like, oh, there is a little piece of me there. But yeah, I think it's just the most rewarding experience you could possibly do. And yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine anything really, really more rewarding than that.
So it sounds like a very unique experience. I doubt many people get to experience that.
Yeah, it's very unique, and even I've only done one donation, but there's lots of donors who will do multiple, and every donation is different, and every relationship with the intended parents is different. And it really is unique. But I don't know, the challenges that it does present, I think, are absolutely worth it. And I, even after having kind of a rough hiccup at the end of my cycle and all these things, I was absolutely on board to do it again, like the next week. Nothing could have stopped me. So yeah, it's worth it, but it is challenging, and it takes time, and it takes energy, and yeah, but it's really, really, really cool.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's great. Thank you very much. And if you are listening and you have any more questions or concerns or queries, or you just want to reach out for a chat, you should definitely do that. You can reach us through our website. That's www.herhelpinghabit.com. And we always have folks around who can hopefully help you out. Thanks for listening.